Right, so Conor Sheehan, 14144 So my project is, this is the breakdown of the 3 years. So my project is here, first semester and third year. So what that means to me would be like what they've already done. So skills are already acquired. They'll have design skills, so they'll already be introduced to design, basic level, maybe designing the height of a project or the width of a project in aspects of proportions. They'll already be able to read working drawings. So from this very start of the first year, first semester, they'll be introduced to working drawings where they'll be given every measurement, so there'll be no working out, like, so there'll be the very basics of it, and they'll be progressed through to missing dimensions and creating their own parts as well as for projects. So then they'll have machine skills, so the mortar machine, the pillar drill, and the lathe. They're more or less the three main that they'll be introduced to in junior cycle woodwork. Then they'll have the basic benchmark skills, so well, not the basic ones, more or less all of them, so marking out, sawing, so there'll be all types of sawing, so with the grain, across the grain, coping saw, tinning saw, all that. They'll have chisel work, so there'll be paring joints, paring trenches, plane work, planing with the grain, planing across the grain, etc. You know, like there'd be, how would you say, there'd be use of a hand drill more or less most of the time in schools. Like they wouldn't expect you to use a pillar drill for every hole you're trying to drill. They'd be introduced to a lot of joints. So my design is this project here. It's a DVD/games console stand. Well, it can be altered to being a wall-mounted project as well. So it consists here of this section here. The DVDs will be held in there. It's designed there to hold a specific number of DVDs, but that will be brought into design with the class. And there's a little section up here you can store other objects. You can store more DVDs on flat up there as well, or books or anything. So the design aspect of it, the size of the DVD box. So the project will be determined by the height of the DVD box and the width of it. So the width will be the number of DVDs. So they have to consider proportions. So if you're going to have 5 DVDs, it's only going to be that wide. So it's going to look out of shape, and it could fall over as well with a centre of gravity. So they'll have to, as a class, decide which number of DVDs would be best for proportion and just aesthetics as well, to make it look good. So then you'll have to balance as well. So if it's going to be on a stand, it's going to have to balance in some way. And then the location, so if it's going to be wall mounted on a shelf, high up or low down, then will depend on the tilt of the legs they make, or whether it's going to be wall mounted or not. So other uses, books, not everyone might be into DVDs, but surely everyone has 1 or 2 DVDs in their house. But if the stand is bigger than 1 or 2 DVDs, you can hold books of a certain size in it. You can stack them on top of it as well, and you can hold a lot of other use. We use it for a lot of other things. Then another design aspect would be that there's the two side pieces in the project that they can design their own curve shape. That's just to introduce a new tool they can use, the spoke shape. So it can be convex spoke shape or concave spoke shape. So it'll be outer curves or inner curves. So then the woodworking skills, they'll have marking out, they'll already have done that. So they're basically, for third year, you're kind of refreshing their skills that they've already acquired. So over the past 2 years, they'll have acquired most of the skills, or will be introduced them. I wouldn't say acquired, because you're still learning. So they'll be introduced to all the other skills, most of the skills in woodwork by then, but this is just to refresh them before they go on to the official junior cert project. So they'll have marking out, cross-cutting, rip sawing, triangular sawing, hand mortising, mortise sheen, pillar drill, planing with the grain, planing across the grain, chisel works with paring joints, trenches, and the possible spoke shape works, like I said before, for their own design of the side pieces. So they'll have sanding and finishing in as well. That's they'll have been introduced to that, but not to the degree where it'll have to be done and handed up and graded for an official project. So this would be kind of like the basis for that, where they are introduced to the sanding and the finishing on like a very kind of critiqued note, as in like everything will be assessed in it. So it will have to be fairly good finishing. So they'll be introduced to, they have done dovetail joints by then. They'll do lap joints. This is like a double pin finger joint, so it's there's a finger on each, 2 different pieces. So that assess their accuracy. So that's like accuracy for their final project will be a big thing. They'll have finger joints, double joints, and stopped housing joints. They're the 6 joints that will be used in my project. So the assessment, verbal feedback. So verbal feedback, I'll give them verbal feedback individually from the very start of the project to throughout. So marking out, if I'll be walking around the class, that'll be my pedagogical approach. That I'll walk around the class and I'll just give a quick glimpse at each project. There might be every piece I get to see for every student if it's a large class. So I'll just look at them and tell them, just ask them, do they understand the working drawing, and if there's something not working out, just clarify it for them and give them a helping hand, but not to give them the answers, just to fish it out of them more or less, get them thinking about it. Each aspect of marking out sawing techniques, just walking around class, looking at their sawing techniques, their planing techniques, whether they're across the grain first or with the grain first. Then the final artifact will be assessed in. So they'll hand me their project and I'll ask them what can they improve, what can they do different. So then the grading, this will be like a numbered scheme. Aspects to be considered. So there'll be the marking out. Did they understand the working drawing? Can they read the working drawing properly? Were they able to work out the numeracy skills, the literacy skills? The numeracy skills like missing dimensions, having to add up 3 dimensions to create the overall dimension of the piece to be able to cut it. Processing, so appreciation of the grain here with planing across the grain, sawing across the grain, chiseling with and across the grain. Preparation for finish, so the different grades of sandpaper, grain directions, sanding with the grain and across the grain, what effects each do have. In application of finish, so is it dosed in varnish, is it dripping off it, or is it applied with consideration for the soakage of the timber and stuff like that. Then the execution of self-design, so that'll be the self-design parts, the curves, dealing with the spoke shapes. Then there will be the finished artifact, so I just give them feedback, a grade throughout all them aspects, and so that the final artifact won't be the only grade they want to get. So if they were able to do all them and had difficulty here but were able to ratify it, I'll be able to go back and say they understood where they went wrong and that they learned from it. So it's not just the finished artifact that will be graded. So then verbal assessment will be, I'll just ask them what did they learn throughout the project, what did they think that went well, what could they work on, and what they would do different. So that's my project, and that's how I would assess it.